for the great Kenya, distinguished guests, the panelists, the professors who have talked to us, and all the people who have come here for this memorial lecture and luncheon for the greatest president of our times, the late Mzee Mwai Kibaki. Good afternoon. I'm really very honored that I was invited to come for this lecture, and I want to thank the professors who spoke here to us about the leadership of Mzee Mwai Kibaki. Mzee Mwai Kibaki is a legend. He's a reference point in matters governance. And anybody who talks about governance in this country, there is reference to his leadership. He left a legacy that remains permanent, that is visible, and that is felt. His greatest achievement was the economic restoration and transformation of this country. And because I'm somebody who listens to the ordinary people, they tell me, don't tell us about economic growth, don't tell us about economic survey, don't tell us the economy has improved from this percentage to this percentage. We want to feel the growth the way we felt it when Kibaki was president. Because there was money in circulation, there was infrastructural development that is feasible, and people say they don't want to be told theories. They want to feel economic growth the way they felt it when Mwai Kibaki was president between the year 2002 and 2013. I want to really acknowledge the culture of hard work that the late president inculcated in all of us, asking people to work hard. I remember when he was sworn in as president and he made his first visit to Othaya, and those of us from Nyeri were very excited to welcome our son home, and we were lining up everywhere waiting for him. And when he reached Karatina, where I was, he didn't come out of the vehicle. And he lowered the window by a few inches, and then called the PC, akamuuliza, bwana PC, nini naendelea hapa? Hii watu yote, it was around 11. Nani nachuna majani chai? Nani yuko kwa shamba ya kahawa? Hapana, 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 tutaharibu. Tukiendelea namna hii tutaharibu. He put the window up and drove to Othaya. Nobody ever came again to meet Mwai Kibaki. Watu walienda kwa mashamba. And that is how this country was transformed. The culture of hard work. I want to say that many people today who are solid in this country, I included, we made our money during the time of Mwai Kibaki. Because government documents were respected. If you had an LPO issued to you from government, you could walk into a bank and get 50% as LPO financing. Because you do the work and you will get paid. Today, if you go to an LPO, to a bank, nobody will talk to you. He really dignified government contracts by making sure that contracts were only given when money was available and there was budgetary support. These great men pushed taxation, and we want today, as we remember him, in a very fond manner.
that is, of course, sorry, of course, remember, that is a former and impeached Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, when he was speaking and he was addressing after the memorial of the former President of the Republic of Kenya. That is Mwai Kibaki. After that memorial, of course, he is trying to compare the current situation of the country to what Kibaki did during his era, that is from 2000 and 2013, whereby Kibaki was the president of the Republic of Kenya. Of course, what most of the leaders are saying is how he constructed the Thika superhighway. Thika superhighway is one of the key areas that has been constructed by our former, that is president of the Republic of Kenya. Of course, Mwai Kibaki. So this is the political discussion here that happens every day, 10 p.m. Of course, East African time. Where are you joining us? Where are you joining this wonderful conversation? You can also join us through the link that I have shared there, and also you'll become part of this conversation, and you'll be enjoying this conversation here. So you're joining the link, and then you will be part of the discussion. But now we have seen the president in the China, of whereby he is having that tour. The tour that is happening, of course, that is to cement the relationship between Kenya and China in terms of development, in terms of relationship when it comes to support, because Kenya, it has reached a point whereby you cannot depend on ourselves. You have to depend on overseas countries for development, and that is why maybe the president is moving out of the country for help from those countries now. But we have seen concerns from Kenyans when it comes to the presidential tour on China, and of course those frequent tours that are happening outside the country. Join us here through the comment section. I can see Gypsy Corner. Gypsy Corner, you are welcome. You also sent your views about the presidential tour that is happening in China. What do you say about that? Is the tour going to benefit Kenya, or we are going to lose from borrowing? Of course, we have a lot of money that has been borrowed, and of course, the other day we listened to Bandy speaking when he was saying that we have a lot of borrowings that are in the country. We need to pay them, but we only pay them by taxation. We can have a lot of taxes being encountered to citizens. Of course, in the top stories we are having also, we have Pope Francis Barrio that is supposed to take place, I think, this Saturday, and we have seen the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula. Of course, he has landed in Rome for the burial of Pope Francis. That is also one of the top stories that we are having. Also, don't forget about Orengo. Orengo, of course, he has been defended by the former Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya. That is Honorable Raila Odinga. Raila said that anything that Orengo is saying, they should be taking it serious, and then after that they come into consensus, because Onyang and James Orengo are key leaders in this country, and they need to be taken serious. Key leaders in this country, and of course you need to take them serious as one of the leaders who are representing this country. That is what he was saying today, Honorable Raila Odinga, during that press. Of course, also top stories, we have seen the post-mortem after the death of Kariobangi North MCA Munuve. The government, of course, the government doctor, of course, we have a doctor who always takes this post-mortem for the government. He has said that the report shows that there was a pulmonary artery that was blocked, and of course, the lack of oxygen in the heart will lead to death. So there are some of the clots that we have found at that is Joel Munuve's pulmonary artery, and that is why he was pronounced dead after reaching at AR hospital. So that is what it's being circulated. So it's like there were some of the things that were involved during the death of Munuve, because where did the clot come from? But that is also one of the trending issues. Other trending issues is Raila might come back in 2027 from what he said today. It's like he was just teasing for 2027.
Function is devolved. That is not should not be the case. The other issue is the issue of infrastructure, roads. I said that I am the one who actually informed Kura, Kera, and Kenha. But that was during the unitary system of government. Now in a devolved system of government, you don't need Kura and Kera. Why should the national government be having roads in Homa Bay? Why should they be having roads? The national government should only be responsible for international highways, national highways, and the trunk roads. But all these feeder roads within the counties should be the responsibility of the county government. Devolve funds and give the devolved fund to the governors. Then they will be able to implement the program. Why should the national government be having roads in Kisumu town, city? Why should they be having roads in Mombasa city? You go to Mombasa city, many roads are not county government roads. Nairobi city itself, there are so many roads which the Nairobi county government is not allowed to touch. Why should Kenya be having roads in Nairobi city or Kura? These are issues which we need to discuss openly. Devolution is not working. Some people say that, oh, too much money is going to recurrent expenditure in the counties, 50% and so on. But that's because the money that is meant for development is not being released to the counties. Why should they be paying him Nyamrerwa? Why should Nyamrerwa be paid by the national government? Why? Why? So this is an issue which we must continue to raise. And I have said that Parliament must come forward and pass laws properly. I said that this CDF national government must go. It must go. That money should come to the counties, and the counties should use them to implement those projects. Over this, there's no compromise. Over this, there's no compromise. And I want the media to understand me so clearly today so that you don't again go and misinterpret, oh, Raila alisema he. I'm speaking in clear English so that you can understand and report it properly. Nimesema kwa Kiswahili sanifu na mmesikia ya kwamba sisi tunafanya kazi pamoja na serikali ya UDA. Nimesema tunafanya pamoja. Lakini tunasema hatujakuwa hello tumesema si.
Yes, and see, of course, the CDF, it's unconstitutional from what Raila Odinga is saying, and also referring to Homa Bay situation, the Siaya situation whereby James Orengo is facing critics after what he said during the burial ceremony of Oduor, who was the guard of Raila Odinga, and that has raised a lot of complaints, and also most of people are saying he should not talk about the government, because now the western region, the lake region, is saying that they're in the government, so they are ready to support the government after Raila also was part of the MOU that was signed, and now they're in the government, so they don't want anyone who is trying to oppose the government, and that is why James Orengo today Raila had to come out and defend on what Orengo and Anyang Nyong they are saying. So it means that 2027 Raila Odinga might be in the ballot for general elections, but you know the fight is still on. We are seeing a lot of leaders also coming out. But the main question is, if Kalonzo and Matiang'i joins together, do you believe that they are going to clinch the 2027 general elections? Because those are strongholds. From what you see them, we have Gachagua from the mountain. A lot of people are giving their support. We have Kalonzo Musyoka. We have the Eastern region that has promised to support him. But also there are some of the members from the Luos who are saying it's high time now we reward. That is, I'm quoting what they're saying, that we reward Kalonzo Musyoka for the kind of patriotism, the kind of loyalty that he has been giving the ODM party. That is, if only Raila Odinga is not going to be in ballot 2027. So they are trying to get a leader who will compete with William Ruto in 2027. So there's some of the possibilities. With the other day we had Babu saying that he will be in the ballot, maybe together with Didi Nyoro. Didi Nyoro was also one of the key members in the parliament from the budgetary committee, but he was dropped from that position and it was given to another leader. So now it's said that those were just political drives that made Nyoro to be dropped from that position. But of course, we have also seen Wamatangi, that is the Kiambu governor, saying that he will not be stopped from joining any political party when it comes to 2027. So if you are there and you want to make a political party for 2027, be sure that you are going to be a part of 2027. It's going to be a tough zone because Matiang'i, after getting back to the country, he has Matiang'i, after getting back to the country, he has already given a signal. I have seen members who have joined. Of course, I've seen members who have joined the show. And I have one of the members here. I will start with James. Karibu sana James. Karibu sana Freak 24. Utuambie unafuatilia show ukiwa wapi, and what is your view about James Orengo being accused by the Lake region politicians after what he said during the burial ceremony of Oduor? Do you think that Orengo is saying the truth after today's Raila Odinga defending him? James, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes. Natumai unanipata kwa njia ipasavyo.
Kabisa, niko Kisumu.
Okay. Now I have just a question for your end. You have heard what Raila Odinga said today, and he was trying to defend Orengo and Anyang' Nyong'o after what they said. Of course, that was during the burial ceremony of the Oduor, who was the guard of Raila Odinga. Do you think that Orengo and Raila, they are in the same direction, or it's just politics?
I think those who are doubting this now today, they got the reality. It dawned to them that everything that Orengo was saying, what Anyang was saying, is what Raila is also saying, and I think they mean it. As ODM, I think we mean it well for the public, and I think the concerns are very genuine as per the MOU they did with His Excellency the President. You can see a lot of jittery, which means some of them are not being followed to the latter. And you saw on that day, George's burial, also Sifuna was in the same boat. So Sifuna, Orengo, Professor Nyang are in the same boat. And this one tells you that there is something which is really not right with the MOU, the 10-point agenda they had put, especially in terms of devolution. There is a lot of things which were supposed to be done the right way, and they have not been achieved so far. And that is what is causing the disharmony. So I think they should be addressed as soon as possible. Otherwise, things might really go south. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, James, for that wonderful submission. My good friend Mzalendo, wiki mzima I have not seen you bwana. Tell us your view about today's Raila Odinga submission when he was trying to defend James Orengo.
Thank you, Bonnie. I've not been feeling well, but I'm around. In fact, I just joined shortly. I'll be rushing somewhere and then come back. Now, this story that you have of Orengo and Raila and ODM group. One thing I want to tell you that this is the this is the game that they are playing. Picky picky bonky. Uh, they are playing hide and seek. Unajua ile mchezo wa paka na panya with the people of Kenya. ODM should finish the race with William Ruto. We don't want them to come back and say that, they have started hinting that, the MOU, they agreed, blah, 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 that kind of nonsense. They need to finish the race with William Ruto. And the people of Kenya will meet them at the ballot. When we were telling them about this deal, they were telling us kumi bila break. So they have to finish the race. We don't want them to come to the people of Kenya and tell us, oh, William Ruto's government is like that. That foundation was built on weak stone, and they have to stay in that house to Bomoa 2027.
Mzalendo is saying that tutabomoa in 2027. I don't know by which methodology mtabomoa. James,
Yeah,
James, yes.
but you see, Mzalendo is not being right. One, where is it written now that Raila Odinga and William Ruto will go in the same direction as per the 2027 election? That is really not true. There is no insinuation and there is no sign for that kind of arrangement ever to be really
You see, James,
packed by
the
2027.
arrangement was
So
sorry, James,
Raila's been,
but let me just
yeah,
cut you short. The arrangement was that William Ruto is bringing development to our region. The government is bringing development to our region, meaning you didn't even read the constitution of what the president should be doing. That is exactly what you are saying. Now you're walking back an MOU. MOU for what? Which MOU did you make? Did you consult the people of Kenya when you are joining your voters, especially the people who voted for Raila Odinga? Did they want you to merge with the government? No. Political parties are formed to form government, and if they are not forming government, they wait for the next general election. What kind of coalition? If everybody wants to be in a coalition and they form an MOU with the government, then what are we talking about? We need to have an opposition that puts checks and balances with the government. Now, what kind of checks and balances has Raila Odinga and his team brought to the people of Kenya? What kind of corruption is happening in government have they hinted out? Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Mzalendo,
I
yes,
think,
James, yes.
yes, one, about 2027, there is nowhere they have really indicated that they will go in part. That one is the truth. And you can see what Orengo is saying, what Anyang is saying. Wanakosoa serikali hii, the same serikali hii wanakosoa. And I think in the good faith, they really want devolution to work. They want all other things that Orengo was saying stopped. So that is good enough for being opposition side, because ODM is opposition, and I think it remains as such. And I think they have really been firm. And Sifuna has been very consistent on that we are opposition and we remain as such. The fact that some of our people are helping the government to stabilize, that is it. The only fear they had is that this government was going to scramble, and who was to take over? Number two. Number two was worse now than number one. So nobody really wanted that one to go that way. And that is when they came in and rescued the situation, and also donated their experts who are Mbadi and the rest to really take care of other issues that they should run the government with William Ruto.
Now, James, you're saying that they just joined the government to help them run the country. But
Otherwise, it would have been in chaos.
But of late, we have not seen any kind of positive impact when it comes to the broad-based government. Still, Kenyans are being pressed by the kind of regime that we have, saying that some of the leaders have been absorbed by the government and they are now stable. They have forgotten the kind of sufferings that Kenyans are going through.
Were it not for the interventions of the said people, we wouldn't be having government now. Let us be realistic. One, that government was gone by the time Gen Z stormed the parliament, and I think that was the end of it, only to be salvaged by the opposition leader, Raila Odinga. And his reasoning was, then tunaondoa Ruto, yes, na nani anaingia? Na ulisikia Oburu akisema hivyo by then. Tukiangalia sasa hii, this country is going to the dogs. The number 2 was worse than number 1 by far. And I think that one has been proved by his actions after even leaving the seat. So I think kwa mzalendo, alikuwa mzalendo aangalie what can really become of Kenya after we allow that to happen then. And the salvage, whatever is happening now is better than what would have been the case scenario if it were not for what was done. That is the truth.
James, of course, is saying that the government already ilikuwa imepotea. I can see in the comment section we have someone saying that sisi tunafanya kazi na serikali lakini hatujaingia ndani ya serikali. Hii ni Kiswahili sana. Kama mtu anaelewa Kiswahili vizuri, hakuna tofauti kabisa. Wako ndani ya serikali, ndani kabisa. Sisi sio wajinga. Acha kuchanganya dimi bwana. It all means the same. That is someone saying that in the comment section. So he's saying that wako ndani ya serikali lakini chingo pande. So nyinyi so the broad-based government is join the government so that they can support or they can push the government to perform, or we can say that we don't have opposition currently. We have not seen anyone opposing the government. The same way we used to hear imeenda kama mbaya imeenda.
But you've had Sifuna oppose, you've had Orengo oppose, you have had Anyang oppose, and today you've had Raila oppose. So which position do we need there? These guys have consoled the government, I think, very consistently from the time we buried George to date. And that is the reality. There is opposition and they are opposing. Or what Professor Nyang said is pro-government, no? What Orengo said is not pro-government. Anyway, what Sifuna said was not pro-government. So as ODM, they're doing their all to check the government and keep them on toes. Thank you.
Yes, they're doing their work to give the government on toes. Someone also saying that Ruto is my president in the comment section. But too, we having a situation whereby it's like when you join the government, then the kind of words that you used to say totally changes, because we have seen how some of the top leaders they are trying to talk. For example, we have seen the Suna member of parliament, Junet Mohammed, in the parliament. The way he has been talking, it's totally different from what used to talk. And of course, we remember last year. I think last year when is it last year? Yes, last year when they were launching some of the projects in Taita Taveta. What he said that mdomo yangu ni yangu, siasa yangu ni yangu. So ukiangalia the way Junet is speaking, the way Joe is speaking, you can detect that maybe they have been absorbed by the government now. To stop all what they are doing, now it's time also to join the government and work with the government. So it means that if Orengo and Anyang' Nyong'o they are speaking, they're just giving a short word when it comes to opposition. But the main opposition leaders, we used to hear opposition when we have those political rallies, but now it's gone. So you are saying that 2027 will not have a candidate from ODM?
Trust me, ODM will have a candidate. And they will not go in pact with the rais. Watakuwa kivyao. Na itakuwa mchanga inaitwa nini? Kinyang'anyiro. That's the same way 2022 was. Itakuwa. That one take to the bank.
Nani huyo atakuwa? Who is that? Who is that now? Because Raila has joined the government. Now who will be the candidate for the ODM? What is your
He's the party leader. He's the party leader. He's still the party leader, ODM, and we are strengthening ODM in all our grassroots. We just did elections the other day, I think a week or two ago, and we are tunajenga chama iwe imara na tunakuja 2027 na candidate haitakuwa bure.
Of course, lazima tujue
candidate will be decided by the ODM themselves by then. Hata hii tulitoka 2022, the party decided who should be the flag bearer, Raila Odinga. So it is never obvious.
Of course.
So they will have to decide at that time who is their flag bearer.
Because I'm saying this because Raila is one of the political leaders we have in this country, public figure, and whenever you say Raila's name in any area, then you'll hear people recognizing him. So do you mean that Raila also, the party also can say that Raila will not be in the ballot 2027? Is that possible?
That is upon him to decide, and I think the ODM neck will decide on who is our flag bearer, and it will just be so obvious by then. The way it was so obvious in 2022.
2022.
That is not rocket science. Everybody knows it will come to pass. Si hilo walisema baba amebaki na bullet moja, na sasa si aliingia siasa akaingia kama candidate yetu. So hata hii labda ikawa ni yeye flag bearer, so be it.
Do you think that will betray William Ruto the way William Ruto supported him in the African Union chairmanship?
But Raila has been very consistent that they are not really in this for elections. They are just in this to assist where they could, to salvage what was there. Otherwise, they won't be with him. If chaos would have not erupted, they won't be there. They just salvaged the situation which was to be. And I had explained why. Number 2 was more worse than number 1. And anybody would really swallow his pride and really save the nation. Otherwise, ingeenda Somali way, ingeenda Sudan way. And we would be in much shit now than ever before. At least sasa tuko na serikali inaendelea. Ijapokuwa sio vile anybody would have wanted, but at least there is something. Government is running. Things are going on. Otherwise, we'll be in a very big mess as Kenyans.
James, when you say things are going on, I'm trying to get some of the clips on why you're saying things are going on. Where?
The budget cycle is on, and I think soon enough they will pass the budget soon. I think the country is moving. Otherwise, everything would have been standstill. No ushuru ya kuokotwa, nothing, and no budget. Everything would have halted. But right now, si wanaokota ushuru. Wanaokota ushuru wanaendelea kufanya kazi, then they are passing the budget. There is a budget cycle going on right now. So the government is running. The president is in Beijing signing deals with the Chinese people. Investors are coming. So things are moving. However much someone would not really want to accept. But that's the truth.
Listening, James, listening to the Gen Z on what they are saying, listening to some of people on what they are saying, some of the leaders on what they are saying, is that their main aim was to make this government to go away, to push the government to go away, and then they'll get a new government. But now after Raila joined the government and those members, some are saying that there was a betrayal. There was a betrayal because their intention was to push the government
who betrayed
and get a new government.
Who betrayed who? Raila was on the ballot. And Kenyans were to take him to the State House. What happened? See, the same people complaining now really voted the other side. And now they are regretting that Raila should help them kuondoa huyu, unaondoa nani? Nani alimweka hapo? Si ni nyinyi? Si wao wenyewe walimweka huyo jamaa na walijua tabia zake zote. Hivyo ni Uhuru said, hey, nyinyi mnacheza chezeni tu na hii kamutu. Mimi ndio namjua, mweke tu kwa kiti, mtaona chemetamakuni. Now where is the wrong that Raila did by supporting their own ile malaika yao? Ndio sasa amewasema huyo heri akae tu hii mwaka tano ikipite. So what was the wrong that Raila did? Raila just gave them their dose, and hata inafaa iende tu hivyo mpaka 10 years, because when we are given an opportunity to now elect leaders, we know ile dosari huyo akonayo, yule akonayo. Can we just select? But we just go to the tribal kings, what have you, then end up messing up, and then you want someone to clean. And I think Raila has tried to clean this all along, and really is a statement in the way he has done it, and we have to really give him credit, not to kupata dosari kwake, because he has done nothing completely wrong by just assisting you have your own dose that you elected for a period. What is wrong with that? Then people will go for election. You will elect anybody you want, even if Gen Zs want to elect somebody else, even a Gen Z mwenzao, si watafanya tu kwa ballot. Si nguvu wako nayo, wananchi wako na ile nguvu kwa kura, na watafanya vilivyo wakati ikifika. Wakisha mess tena, then shauri yao.
That is James saying that there was no wrong that Raila did, of course, and also others are giving the opinion. I can see someone in the comment section there. They are sending their messages. I can see Raila will vie in 2027, but the new opposition will beat him, and his brother Ruto vibaya sana. Someone is saying that in the comment section. Nyambuto is saying that my brother Bone, that is Nyambuto. Join the studio, Nyambuto, through the link that I've shared there. You're a good man. You'll go to heaven. Join the studio, and then you will become one of the guests here. I concur with the James. That is somewhere in the comment section, and also someone is saying that I am wondering what James is saying. This is a comment. Someone is saying that I'm wondering what James is saying. Everything is good. How now? Is this conman? Of course, you're saying today, are these conmen destroying our country? Is someone asking you? Is it that we have conmen in this country who are trying to destroy the country? From what you're saying, he disagrees.
What I meant, you know what the situation we were in when Gen Z stormed the parliament, and we knew the results after the event of Gen Z's in parliament. We knew the results. It was so obvious. Hiyo serikali ilishaanguka. Any country, when you see the parliament stormed, that country is gone. The next thing is the president will fly away. Everything goes back to military or chaos. Then any person will declare himself or herself the president, and it will just be chaotic as such. So what I meant is that when it was at the edge of collapse, Raila came in. He had an option of joining the Gen Zs and toppling the government and installing whoever they want, or making it very chaotic with the military or otherwise. So he had all that opportunities, and hizo cards yeye ndiye alikuwa nayo. Angesema Gen Zs, let's go, tuondoe huyu, si wangeondoa. Nani angemkataza? And with that force ya wananchi wangefanya, wangeenda State House wamuondoe huyu jamaa. But you see, the thing is, when you remove William Ruto, by then number 2 becomes the president automatically, because the constitution don't allow any vacuum. The vice president or the deputy president automatically assumes office. You saw with the Meru governor, akiondolewa, who becomes the governor? The deputy. So even the scenario of Kenyan government, the hierarchy is that when William Ruto would have been ondolewa, Mwenye angechukua ushukani ni huyo jamaa. But
Gachagua.
the reasons, the Gachagua, and huyo ndio sasa mwenyewe, huyo sasa ndio, I don't know how can call him. Yeye kama Ruto ako na 90% corruption or whatever it is, ubaya. Yeye ako na 1000% ubaya. In terms of what they were doing, the two of them. They were twins in that government. Ilikuwa serikali yao. But the worst scenario which we have occurred ni yeye kuchukua hiyo ushukani. That is the only situation now. Raila said, oh, yeah, Ruto must go. Yes, we agree. Yes. But now who comes in? That is the question. And the answer was obvious that who comes in is Gachagua, who was worst. And every Kenyan knows that it was a worse scenario than what is prevailing now. So what we have now is a better version of Kenya than what we would have had when Ruto went home and this guy took over. That is the truth. No one wants to really deny that. That is the truth. And that's when wazalendo kama Raila Odinga akasema yenyewe hii ni rahisi tuingie serikali na backdoor, but yenyewe who will be the next president? Si huyu jamaa. Heri huyu mwingine aendelee. Na wenye wana complain, I'm stating this. Those who are complaining are the same voters who voted William Ruto. Mara ngapi tuliambiwa Ruto asiingie, hao waka insist. Mlima Kenya si walitoa vote zote anywhere wakamuingiza. Saa hii ndio wanapiga kelele kuliko kila mtu. Kura yenye alipata Nyanza hakuna. As we don't owe him anything, he doesn't owe us anything because we never voted for him. Bado hao watu wa mlima si walimvotia. Sasa wanakelele ni nini ati Raila amebetray nani? Yeye amesema si hii ndio ile mlikuwa mnataka ndio sasa iendelee. Si anaendelea. Na akiendelea hata 10 bila break, it's okay because that is your choice.
That is the choice. That is the gem. So, of course, in the comments, I can see a lot of comments in the section over there. Kevin Wasonga, I can see you, Wasonga. Join through the link that I've shared there, and also you'll become our guest today. Share your sentiments about what is happening in the country. David Matthew saying that this is somewhere in the comment section. He saying that Joe and Buddy will never go back to ODM. They are in the government to stay. Ruto wants to come and to take us to the streets. We will never go back to the streets again. I support Zalendo. That is someone is saying that the Joe will never go back to ODM. It's now at the time they say Luere to ODM. That is someone in the comment section. Anasema ODM Joe hawatarudi huko. Someone is saying that who told you that number 2 was bad? Isn't that your own opinion? That is someone, of course, is saying that number 2 Gachagua was not bad. That is his own opinion when he said that maybe number 2 was bad, and that is why Raila also tried to join the government so that they can help them run the country, because maybe they thought that if the Gen Z pushes the president to move out of the state house, now the deputy president will step in. And of course, that is James when he was speaking to us here, saying that Gachagua maybe he could not handle the situations we had in this country, and that is why he also stepped, and also he was impeached during that impeachment motion that happened last year. James, someone is saying that it is that time now ODM says goodbye to Joe and Buddy. They will never go back to that political party.
I tell you, those guys are serving at the will of Raila Odinga. Whatever Raila will tell them will carry the day. So that is really independent of anyone's opinion. Kama Raila watawaambia wakae huko, waendelee 10 bila break, watakuwa. Wakiambia watoke, watatoka hata kesho. I'm telling you. They are that loyal to that guy. very loyal servants.
You see, they are very loyal to Raila Odinga, and someone also is asking. Let me look for that comment. Someone is saying that if I may ask, this is someone I want also to display it on the screen. Someone is saying that if I may ask, what has the ODM so-called experts done so far? Wamefanya nini akina Badi, akina Wycliffe Oparanya, akina Joe who joined the government in their respective ministries? What have they done? That is someone asking in the comment section now. And that is also a question I asked you. We have never seen anything that is positive coming out of the government, even after the experts joined the government.
Right now, the two gentlemen, Badi and Wandai, are in the US negotiating energy funding for our nation, because Kenya is still lagging behind in terms of production of energy. And they are in the US negotiating how they can have a partnership or funding for the same. I think they are doing that on behalf of the Kenyan government. And in terms of energy, you've seen what Wandai has been doing. All these few months he's been in office. And you've seen Badi coming to television telling Kenyans on the best way we will go with the current finance bill and how the budget should look like in the next coming budget cycle, which is June 30th this year. So they're trying. However much this is not their government, they have to just do what they can do. I think they're trying. So far, so good.
They're trying so far so good. James is saying that everything remains the same. The government was in the right direction, but anyway, the hate for this government multiplied when Wamunyoro was impeached. That is someone in the comment section is saying that as comment section, continue sending the comments, and then I will be reading them here live in the Africa 24. Make sure if you're following us here for the first time, this is Africa 24, and this is a political discussion that happens here every day at 10 p.m. East African time. Make sure you subscribe. This is what we request from you. Subscribe to Africa 24 YouTube channel, and you'll be getting those news here every day. Now, also we have seen youngsters, the likes of Bakassi East Member of Parliament, Babu Owino. When he was having one of the interviews in one of the radio stations, he said that they are ready as the Gen Z, as the young one, for leading this country in 2027. And he said that that was just a hint that together with the Kiharu Member of Parliament, Didi Nyoro, they might come together, form a party, and also be ready for 2027. What do you think about that? Is that also a betrayal for Babu Owino to Raila?
You know, the good thing with the ODM, we are so liberal, and I think the democratic space in ODM is not being experienced somewhere else in other parties. Baba has allowed wakina Babu to just speak their minds. And at one point, people feel they are anti-Baba. I think until today, people thought Orengo and Anyang were going against Baba, and they were surprised if Baba affirmed that these are my guys, and they are talking the language of ODM. And that is what
That is, James, you'll be back shortly trying to tell us what Raila today said as the 2027 general elections gets direction. Wamunyoro has been speaking. As James prepares, we are having Wamunyoro has been speaking.
Na tumutete. Our parish minister karibu sana Gorano, dejo dida hata uka kuona parish nego uka, todo chinugo mtu wakwa. Negala gweda karibu. Nidona kanitha witu no urakura diatigire nyumba ya MC. I can see we are growing. Na kanitha witu wahiriga no tuguthi na tuku support. Women's Guild mutika market we hamwe, we'll find out how to support you. Oria tuturaga twekaga na maidu maguthie magirite. Kariro ndukamake. Wira wa ruguru ikara hakuhi na Karanja. Ni muritu muno. Na nikio ndakwaririe ngikwira nomination ya thira ndugatinde ukingangana na muthuri uyu tondu ni ndamenyaga wira uyu ni muingi muno. Ithu andu aruguru turi arathimire Karanja MCA witu. I don't know tungikaga ate uko tutikorwo na Karanja. Gutire mucii atakoragwo, gutire mucii wikiriro atathiaga na ngacibu, gutire mucii wi ndwari atathiaga, gutire mwana waremererwo ni guthii cukuru atahangagira. Karanja ithu tutingihota gukuriha, Ngai akurathime na gwike wega. Karigo ko ne kwenda gutongoria andu a ruguru ikara hakuhi na mundu na muthuri uyu wone mithiire yake na mikinyukirie na wone urekaga maundu. Kahinda kau gakinya no tugaikara thi twarie nigetha turikane nira tukwibanga ta andu a ruguru. Na andu a ruguru thengio tondu ria ndamwirire munjokerie Karanja ni ndamenyaga ati Karanja ndangitiganiria andu ake na ni aguikara hindi ciothe akiroraga micii itu igaikara na njira njega. Ni ndirenda mutinde mukimaka ati ri twarirwo twehute wira-ini. Kau ni kaundu kanini muno. Twari na choice. If that is his borders operandi, it's okay. But sending goons ndani ya kanisa, Rais, what happened to you? Ndani ya kanisa, surely hao watu ya kanisa ndio walikuombea. Sasa wewe umefika kiwango, ulinitumia goons Limuru kwa funeral wakatuangaisha, tukasema ni sawa. The other December ukatutumia goons huko Shamata wakatuangaisha, tukasema ni sawa. Last week ulikuwa umetuma watu huko Nyeri nje ya kanisa. Sasa umekuja mpaka umeingia ndani ya kanisa. Sasa tulikuwa tunafikiria utapanga nje ya kanisa. But you have become bold. You don't care anymore that you are sending goons through the governor hapa ya Nairobi kuja kuangaisha kanisa la Kristo na kuangaisha sisi. It's okay, there is no problem. Wewe endelea kama unaona hivyo ni sawa, there is no problem. We are aware the Deputy Inspector General aliambia polisi wasikuje, but a few policemen in plain clothes walikuja wakasaidia pale, which is okay because there are some officers who are conscious that they have a constitutional obligation to protect life and property. Last week umetutumia polisi kutuangaisha Naivasha, which is okay. Lakini tunashangaa kwa nini? Kwa sababu wewe unatembea hapa kwetu mlimani hakuna mtu amekuuliza. Si ametembea? Na nikaambia watu wamkaribishe. Bora walipe, si ndio? So we now let us be decent people. The way umekaribishwa pale, wachana na sisi tutembee mahali tunataka. And even if you want to pursue us, don't pursue us inside the church. But of course, when we are seated here, wondering why the president would go to that length of sending goons inside a church to attack leaders, to attack Christians. But we also remember that sometimes back, kanisa ya Kiambaa, watoto walikuwa huko, walichukuliwa wakarudishwa ndani wakachomeka. So we are not surprised because hii ni tabia ambayo inaonekana it is consistent. So wewe rais endelea, no problem. Lakini ujue hii kitendo ya leo, uhusiano yako na kanisa ya PCA is irreparably damaged ever. So wewe endelea tu.
He has been injecting, that is Irigi G. Gachagua has been injecting the government Any day, every day of the week, every day we have those congregations. That is when we have been seeing Gachagua injecting the government through those speeches, and also we have also seen a situation whereby now it's calm in the mountain. We have not seen a lot of people coming out to say that mountain is ours. Of course, only Gachagua is trying to be active in the mountain, but we have no, the likes of Ketu Waruguru, the likes of Mutai Kaiga after the presidential tour. He has relaxed, and he is a close member to Gachagua. But you remember the sentiments that he made during the presidential tour. Kaiga said that if the president is going to accomplish the projects that he has promised them, then absolutely they are going to vote for him in 2027. So we are having the mountain now as relaxed. Ketu Aruguru, I've not heard her. Kaiga has relaxed also. But the only person who is active is Kimani Gunjiri. Gunjiri also he is always slamming the government and telling the government to work. And of course, he has been pushing also for a relationship between Ruto and Gachagua to be strong. But now the two guys, the president and the former deputy president, has not been having a same line when it comes to the politics, because Gachagua is saying that his main work now is to inject, is to give secrets that are being hidden in the government, trying to say what William Ruto is not doing and trying to showcase the bad side of the government. But as others are saying, it's just because of anger issues. We're having these kind of sayings from him after the impeachment, and that is why he's trying to accuse the government with no reason. But Kenyans, some of the Kenyans are agreeing. But you've seen how he was saying the goons were sent when they were having the burial ceremony in Limuru, and also and one of the areas where he was attacked by goons in Nairobi. And of course, the reference is Nairobi governor and the president, who he said that they were the one who were responsible for that. Also, we have seen the current situation whereby the Kariobangi North Member of Parliament, that is the member of County Assembly, Joel Munuve, was pronounced dead this week after just being taken to hospital along Kiambu Road. And this is something that has raised concerns. We are the Dangoreti South Member of Parliament. That was Dangoreti South Member of Parliament when he was saying that this is something that needs to be investigated seriously, because the death of Munuve just came the other day when he was trying to impeach the governor, when he was trying to say the governor is not working and trying to collect the signatures for impeachment of governor. That is why we are having the death of Munuve. So that is what he said during that parliament proceeding. So it's like today we saw Oduor, of course, he is the government doctor, trying to say the death of Munuve is something that looks like it was planned, because the pulmonary artery, one of the arteries that pumps the oxygen to the heart, it had a clot. As Joel is saying, it was planned. So the allegations are after the impeachment motion that he wanted to collect the signatures. That is why we had his death. Mzalendo, Nairobi County politics. What is your view about Nairobi County politics?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think Nairobi County politics is something that has always been there. The dirty politics of Nairobi. You remember this is the same county where one of the supporters of ODM, Achok, was murdered This is the same scenario that has been happening in Nairobi County. What I can tell our viewers is that most of the time when you see these things happening in our country, especially, it means that there is no law and order, and we are operating like what we went to stop in Haiti. Kenya, there's so much that is going wrong, and needs to be rectified. And I think it's high time that the president wakes up because he's been sleeping on the job. He needs to wake up and see what is actually happening in the country, what the citizens are saying. Uh, People are not mad. We are just not mad people to come and say that things needs to be rectified. Remember, Ruto came with a platform of reforms, and he promised that he's going to reform the country. Now, so far, we have been seeing a lot of games, like the guest you had earlier, Ron, who was saying about ODM walking back from the government. This is this has been orchestrated by what the ground is saying, and it is not their wish to walk out of the government. But the people of Kenya are saying that they are not going to vote for William Ruto. But what were they telling us? That the government will bring development, meaning they never read even the constitution, what the government ought to do. Development is for everybody, whether you voted for the government or not. So this is something that we need to be looking into very, very keenly to see the development. But sad to say that a member of the county assembly lost his life, was murdered because of politics. This is something that is happening and has been happening in Kenya, and people take it casually. We will laugh about it. It is normal. Let me tell you, next week life will be as normal as yesterday. Nothing will happen. If this guy was killed because of politics, I want just to speculate, nothing will happen. Sakaja will continue with his normal duty, and anybody else who is probably a suspect. So right now, if we had a government that is working, then you'd see some of the officials being interrogated by DCI. But the same DCI is the one that sanitized people like Baraza. Yeah. So we are in a dilemma. Kenya needs somebody who is going to rectify the situation. Sometimes it's not just about the presidency alone. It is what is happening in the county. For instance, we can't blame the president for the death of this MCA, but we blame the politics within the county assembly of Nairobi. So that is what we want to speculate right now. We blame the politics, or if he had other deals that are happening out there, then we should be told. The police should be able to investigate. Remember, Boni, this is where the police, the head of police came out and told us that they don't know who is abducting the Gen Zs. Yeah, they don't know about that. This was just speculations by the opposition. So we need to do things the right manner, and the right manner is on August. We need to vote in a new government, a government for the people and by the people.
Zalendo is saying that we need to make a change. We need to make a change. But Zalendo, before you left, you were saying something about Orengo and Raila Odinga, the likes of Anyang' Nyong, after what Raila today said. I don't think whether you have seen what Raila said today by trying to also defend Orengo and Anyang' Nyong.
I didn't. I
And
need
of
not.
course,
Bonnie, I need not to look at what Raila said. I knew that this is going to happen because one, they went in government for the wrong reasons. They went in the government for the wrong reason. They didn't go in government for the right reason. The same reasons why they went in government was for stability. That was the major reason. Anything that they're bringing up, like the pointers that they needed, that Ruto needed to do, It is all rubbish. They went to the government because the government, they said, was unstable. Let us not forget why ODM is in government. They went in the government to stabilize the government of William Ruto, which was falling apart. So the other things are irrelevant. Whatever Raila is saying right now, there's no walking back. They need to stay in government. Why are they walking back right now? They need to stay in that government. You know, the people who have been holding the line is the Mount Kenya people, and that's why I have the mountain now. I'm speaking behind Mount Kenya, the central province. They're the ones who have been holding the government of Ruto on check. The others who have been singing to us here, Kumi bila break. Kumi bila break. Kumi bila break. There is no going back. Ni Kumi bila break mpaka 2027. Hakuna mali wanaenda wakae kwa serikali. Wale sisi wengine tunawaona wakikula, sisi wacha wakae kwa serikali wakule kabisa, tukutane 2027.
Zalendo is saying that they joined the government because of their personal issues to gain, but not to help the government. But this is contrary to what I wish this guy could be here, the James guy who was saying that the government is now heading the right direction because of the experts that joined from ODM. The support from the ODM is the one that is now pioneering the government. We're having
You
a lot
see,
of
I have talked about this expertise. If Ruto wanted expertise to join the government, they would have advertised these jobs in PricewaterhouseCoopers or Deloitte. They would have given them the best professionals in that field. What experience does somebody have that is more than Martin Odiwuor Otieno, somebody who has been in the banking industry for the longest time? What experience does he have more than the people who have worked in Treasury? It is absolutely nonsense. You know, it's absolutely, it is playing around with our minds. So let Kenyans understand this very, very clear. We as the people of Kenya need to elect leaders who can be accountable for their actions. While they were joining this government, the enemy was Gachagua. Now the enemy all of a sudden again becomes William Ruto. William Ruto is a nice man. Huyo ni mtu mzuri sana. Sisi wale tuko nje tunajua William Ruto ni mtu mzuri sana. Watamaliza safari na bwana Raila Odinga na ni 10 bila break.
Kumi bila break. Why I am Zalendo 10 years of reign of Kenya Kwanza government leadership is long, by the way. It's long because most of Kenyans are suffering. You know, you have not interacted with the people who come from the slums so that you can see how they are suffering. People are struggling. There's no money. Money flow in the country. There's no money.
Money is with pesa iko hapa. Sikiza. Unamsikia kwa makini. Pesa iko kwa wabunge na wale wanafanya matendapreneurs, wale wanafanya biashara na serikali. Hao ndio wana pesa. Hao ndio na pesa. Hao ndio wako na payslip ambao wanaweza enda kwa banki yoyote waitishe mkopo. Hao ndio wako na hela. Hao ndio wana control uchumi ya nchi. Hao wabunge. Ndio maana unasikia wewe sikia koti nasema CDF is illegal. Mbadi mwenyewe anatoka anasema nimesambaza CDF kwa kila constituency. Something that the courts of Kenya has proved that is illegal. They are still going on doing it instead of looking for a framework that will develop all the schools or pay or give us free secondary education. Ni nini washinda sana? I said William Ruto, if there is only one legacy that he can leave, is free secondary education. Just like Kibaki left free primary education, free secondary education is one legacy that William Ruto can leave when he leaves office in 2027. Apeane watu free secondary education. And let me also say that hii kiti sio ya Mount Kenya na sio ya Kalenjin na si ya Wajaluo, hii presidency na si ya Wakamba. Hii presidency ni ya watu ya Wakenya.
Hao watu tumewaandika job, tumewachora kazi. Rais ni wewe ndio umemwandika kazi. Ule mbunge MCA huko kwenyu ni wewe ndio umemwandika kazi. 2027 wewe ndio umemwandika kazi. Hawa ni watu wanafaa kutuhudumikia, sio the other way round. Unaona? Sio the other way round. Either watufanyie kazi, na kazi ikiwashinda waitishe uchaguzi, watu waende uchaguzi, watu wachague viongozi wale wanataka.
Ai, kazi ikiwashinda, lakini bado the experts join the government. But someone is saying that currently with the opposition is the main problem that we are having is that with the opposition there is no unity. I don't think whether we will have anything else. Kumi bila break. Someone is saying that 10 years.
There is no unity of the opposition because they are also as greedy as the ruling class. The opposition are politicians. The opposition want to be in government. That is why they are saying that this government is ours. Wewe unaalikwa wewe nimekualika kwangu, umealikwa kwangu, alafu bado naenda na uko na bedroom ya wageni na bado nakupata unalala kwa bedroom yangu, kwa main room yangu. Nimekualika kidogo ukae pale nikuandalie chakula, wewe unataka kuniambia hii jikoni yako utaipanga hivi na hivi na hivi. Hii TV kwanza umeweka mahali pabaya, wewe toa hii TV uweke hapa, weka hizi vitu. Unajua hii serikali ODM na Raila wenzake hawakuitengeneza. Hii serikali ilikuwa ni ya Kenya Kwanza. Kenya Kwanza kama mambo yake yendi sawa, kuna upinzani pale bungeni, hao ndio wangekuwa wanakosoa serikali kila mara. Ndio maana Ruto alisema vizuri sana, he wanted a strong opposition. Why he walked back on that, I don't know, because they wanted to rule us. Unaona, imagine mko katika inchi moja, kila mtu yuko kwa serikali. That is exactly what is happening in the county governments. You find a political party, like if you go to Eastern, you find a Wiper. Kila mbunge ni Wiper hapo majority. Everything that is done there is done as per the Wiper constitution. There is nobody who is going to put, who is going to caution a county like where I come from in Nyanza. Hakuna, because huko kote watu wote ni ODM. Unaona? Watu wote ni ODM. Nani atamkosoa? Unakosoa party leader wako na yeye ndio governor. So hii devolution Wakenya waielewi kabisa, na it is very very sad that devolution has been watered down. Otherwise hatungekuwa tunapigania hizi maserikali. Remember Boni, one day on your show, bring the 8 pointers that Kriegler and Kofi Annan told Kenyans before they go to any general election. They said that these are 8 pointers. You need to first correct the issue of tribalism, and then nepotism, and then work on the land issue, and again work on IBC, the electoral body. But today, look at the sham interviews that have been happening in the sham interviews that have been conducted. Ati wanatafuta referee wa election ya 2027, na wakitafuta referee wa election ule mtu anachagua referee ni bwana Raila Odinga na bwana William Ruto. Hao ndio wanachagua mareferee, na hao ndio maplayer wanaenda kwa game. Hii kitu haiwezekani, hatuwezi endelea hivi. Otherwise, Boni, asante sana kwa kunialika kwa etika hii show. Thank you, but nimekuwa area.
Mzalendo, asante sana tujapatana, lakini najua tutapatana tu.
Kuna show tunaleta mwendo ni saa ngapi Kenya saa hii?
Saa 7.
Saa 7, mwendo wa saa 7 usiku Kenya. Asubuhi tutakuwa hapa na brother Ben tukijadiliana na hii maneno umewachia.
Mzalendo, kabla uende niambie hii mambo bwana. Nimeona Arsenal iko semifinali ya UEFA Champions League bwana, ligi ya klabu bingwa Ulaya.
Wako semifinals, walichapa nani?
Walitandika miamba wa soka.
Walitandika Real Madrid bao 2-1 na kule inaitwaje kule Spain, Madrid.
Sitaki mambo mingi, nauliza tu Arsenal itakuwa inachukua UEFA.
Nilikuambia Arsenal imekuwa ni kitengeneza team. This is the most impressive Arsenal side I've watched after the Invisibles. Wewe unajua in the Invisible hata ukuona, wewe ulikuwa hujazaliwa hata pengine mama na mzee bado walikuwa pengine wanataka kujuana, bado wajui kama watapatana. Au kuacha uona timu ya Arsenal inaitwa the Invisibles. Mali kulikuwa na Thierry Henry, kulikuwa na Vieira, kulikuwa na Lampard, kulikuwa na anaitwaje huyu kipa wetu huyu kipa mzuri sana huyu. Nimesahau jina, ni kitambo kidogo. Wewe au kukua kabisa.
Mimi nimekuuliza tu swali moja.
Kulikuwa na huyu jamaa wa Holland, huyu alirudi akaingia Manchester. Unamjua?
Nani huyo? Van Persie ni wajuzi.
Van Persie au ni watu walikuwa au sasa ndio walikuwa vijana. So unaona hii team, uliona ile bao Saka alifunga wakicheza na Madrid.
Sasa mimi sijaambia unichambulie game. Najua uko na maneno 100.
Ulikuwa unatakaje? Mimi ni supporter wa Arsenal. So ukileta mambo ya Arsenal lazima nikuelimishe kidogo. Jue ni mtu wa Chelsea na kunajua. Lazima nikuelimishe kidogo.
Hiyo ndio maneno yako unaniwekea kwa mdomo. Maneno unaniwekea kwa mdomo. Mimi si supporter wa Chelsea, mimi ni supporter wa Nottingham Forest.
Wewe ni wa Nottingham Forest. Wewe ni Chelsea na Nottingham Forest. Sawa, wewe kwa tu hapo kwa Forest, wewe ngojea sisi tukuchukue Champions League hii mwezi, alafu tuangalie semifinals ni kati ya Arsenal na PSG ama ni Arsenal na
Arsenal, PSG, Barcelona, Inter Milan.
Sasa the final ile utaiwatch for the first time in your life ni the game that I have been dreaming to watch. A final between Arsenal and Barcelona. Nyinyi watu wale mungekuwa mkisupport sijui Chelsea, sijui Manchester, dream of that final. Enda uchukue Biblia, uombe Mungu, nataka kuomba mpira mzuri sana. Nataka kuona finali kati ya Barcelona na Arsenal. Tafadhali, and may the best team win. Unaona? Hapo utakuwa umeona mpira. Hutawahi rudi tena kuona hizi mpira za Chelsea. Hutawahi rudi kuona hizi mpira za sijui wapi. Uona hiyo finali naomba sana tuone finali kati ya Barcelona na Arsenal. Hiyo ni mchezo wa tiki-taka. Tiki-taka. Hiyo ni tiki-taka. Hiyo ni filosofia, the same philosophy. Ile lijenga Arsenal ndio the same philosophy ya Barcelona. To enjoy game na to may the best team win. Mimi hata Arsenal isiposhinda na Barcelona ishinda, hizo zote ni timu zangu. Ile finali mbaya sitaki kuona ni kati ya Arsenal na hii timu ya Italy. Unaona? So hiyo itakuwa finali tamu sana. Itakuwa finali so defensive. Lakini Arsenal ni nani? Arsenal round hii wanachukua Champions League. Tukiwa hapa katika hii studio ya Afrika, tunawaombea mema. Mashabiki wote wa Arsenal wajitokelezee siku hiyo. Nani huyu anasema David final ni PSG na Inter. Angalia huyu anasema, huyu David anasema ati final ni PSG na Inter. Wewe zidi tu kuota hiyo ndoto ati PSG na Inter. PSG Arsenal inaweza funga bao 5 kama hujajua.
Mzalendo. Sawa, tunajua tupatane Monday. Mzalendo nauliza leo kuna leo kuna finali.
Finali ya?
Unajua huko someone is saying he is in love with your background. It's looking inakaa nzuri your background by the way.
No, Gypsy Corner. Hii ni Mount Kenya. Hii ni ile mlima ya Kenya. Hao ndio wameshikilia siasa ya Kenya saa hii. Hii ni mlima Kenya hii. Hii background ya mlima Kenya. Hao ndio wameshikilia. Hao ndio opposition. Mlima Kenya ndio opposition sahi, hao ndio tunafuata mambo yao. Hii ingine yote wako kwa serikali, so tunafuata nani? Sisi tunafuata mali wale wameshikilia katika opposition na wameshikilia Kenya na wanakosoa serikali, hivyo tu. Na sijasema ati 2027 Gachagua for president, no. Nimesema Mount Kenya sahi ndio opposition, it is the right opposition. Ukiona mahali serikali inatupa mawe kila wakati, hapo ndio kuna maneno.
Leo kuna finali Barcelona Real Madrid Copa del Rey. Maoni yako?
Hiyo of course Real Madrid lazima washinde hiyo game at least moja, because kwa league wako namba 2, kwa La Liga Real Madrid saizi wako namba 2, they are trailing Barcelona. So Barcelona has a very good side, very very good side, lakini there is something about the Spanish soccer that the English soccer has that they don't have. Real Madrid na Barcelona wakicheza, hiyo ni game ya it would be very very physical. Hiyo ni game ya physics sana, hatutaona zile technical abilities za players. So hiyo game hata nikiangalia sana, maybe itaenda in favor of Real Madrid, because they've lost one major trophy that they really wanted to win, and the league pia ni kama Barcelona watachukua.
Asante sana Mzalendo, asante sana for those questions, because utokeangi kwa Dimba show, that's why I wanted to hear, because I'll be back here after Inter Milan lift the trophy, because I'm very sure Arsenal, they are cast, they cannot win Champions League. Yes.
Toa hiyo matembaya. Toa hiyo matembaya. Arsenal watashinda Champions League. Na wewe hata unafaa kushukuru Arsenal, itakuonyesha mchezo ile hujawahi ona kwa maisha yako, Arsenal na Barcelona. Omba Mungu uone mpira siku hiyo.
Asante. Of course, I want also to say thank you for the followers who have joined us, and of course the followers who have joined us from Monday to Friday here every 10 p.m. we're discussing about politics and trying to internalize on what is happening in terms of politics in this country.
Kabla umalize in the next saa 4, mwendo wa saa 4 saa za Marekani, ukiwa saa za Marekani inategemea mahali huko, kama uko pande ya Texas nini, saa 3 we'll be having a very explosive show here with brother Ben, tukichambua mahali Kimanzi amewacha. So please make sure that you subscribe to Afrique, na tukutane saa 4 huko masaa 6 huko Kenya, asubuhi Kenya time, but hapa itakuwa ni saa 6 saa 5.
Yes, asante sana followers, make sure you subscribe to Afrique 24, number 1 political show YouTube channel, Afrique 24. You subscribe, that is what we request from your hand. Subscribe to YouTube channel. Those who are following us from Facebook, subscribe to YouTube channel Afrique 24. That is Afrique 24. You will also help us also grow, because we want to grow to become a big channel in the entire world. Today is on Saturday. Of course, it's on a weekend. We have Premier League matches. I will be back here with some of the predictions for the Premier League, and also with the politics, because it's 1 p.m., almost 1:02 p.m. a.m. the morning here in Dangoret Kawangware. See you today.